Hello, now then. Welcome back to episode 9 of my Beaverdome series. This is a Folktales playthrough on normal mode. Today, we are going to be sorting out our flower that we was trying to make yesterday, or last episode. I foolishly built them here with absolutely no power whatsoever, as I didn't know they needed any. So we're going to probably put them over here for the time being. And we also need to sort out the housing situation, as we are pretty much at the very limit of what the housing here will support, and we need more beavers to power all this new industry. And if we get time, we're going to expand this a little bit by probably digging this area out here and looking at the mud pits, give them a little bit something extra to do. So let's get the beavers are running around. And let's get to sorting out these areas up here. What we'll also try and get around to, if I remember, is to fix some more of the finished goods and the raw goods from a storage point of view. So clearing out some area here, as I want to put finished goods on this side and raw goods either on this side or move this area, but we may have to move the district centre somewhere else out the way to do that. So let's just get rid of these, and we need to get the gristmill sorted. So let's just get rid of these paths, clear up some of the space, and the beavers can get to getting these installed. Putting 2 in because I want each type. So there's flour, which is going to come from the wheat, which is grown up here, and also from the cattails, which is a plenty here. So once they get round to that, we will need somewhere to store that, but we can worry about that in a bit. We do have some empty storages, but again, I really want to rip these out and get a bit more industrial storage on this area. So we're also going to look at processing the flour with the bakeries, which does not need power, which is ideal. Now I won't fall into that mistake again. But again, we need to worry about getting beavers into these jobs, of which we currently have none. So where are we hemorrhaging the beavers? Not sure. Have we had a death wave? Probably. Mistake I made a while ago was to, in this old housing district here, was to get lots of these big houses built, and yeah, lots of them kind of die at the same time, which I am about to do again. So we are going to get the housing situation sorted. And luckily these fit nicely underneath here. We are going to have to build up a bit of the area to get them into that, but shouldn't be too much of a hardship. I'm just wondering if we do something clever here. Probably not without pulling up the blueberries, but never mind. We'll just put a big story, big staircase ladders in somewhere. Let's try and figure out how we're going to do that. So we're going to need them to be at least this high. Alright, how to get them down? I think let's try this. If we build that there, and then get a 2 put down in the drink here, hopefully, we can then rely on old faithful ladders to get us up. And let's just repeat that on this side. And then Need a 1 and a 2 and a ladder and several paths to give them the access to that. Now, what I think we can do is try and keep this area looking nice. Will that fit in? Yes, it will. So let's... I don't really want to build much taller than this, to be fair. So let's just get these in. Once all that's constructed, we should be able to get the beavers in one of these stairs. And if we get around to it, we could build some more along here. And I would say we can probably take advantage of some of these to be sat in these corners, as we can't really do much with them. So I think, would that look good? Probably facing that way. I'm gonna say yes, because we don't have any monuments over this way, which we had over before. And it might be an idea to get this in just to add to the well-being. Yeah, we've got the science for it. Let's go for it. So with any luck, this is going to drink probably most of our resources, especially from a plank point of view, which we do not have. So let's just pause this for now. So this should be getting some benefit from these roofs. We could probably do something a little bit clever down here. We sneak something in here that's just a single. Let's have a look, see. I wonder if we can get that put in, and then let's just put in a little contemplation spot. What's any of these other ones? Or a beaver statue? Maybe. Nah. Let's. I think we're going to go with contemplation spot. I think that'll look quite nice up there in the middle. Fixes some of the symmetry problem with this ladders. It's awful to look at, I know, but it is what it is. So, with these, we should have plenty of beds and a million baby beavers coming in, and hopefully should be enough to get enough of these eventually into work. So, if we want to build this bad boy, we are going to need to sort out the bank situation, which we should have plenty of, which we seemingly don't. I set all these up last time, so this is again our industrial storage. There's a little place for dirt, but we're not doing any excavation yet, so that's not really going to change anytime soon, I don't think. What we should do is get this built, because it's going to be useful. So let's just get this in. It's a temporary bridge. Do that, and let's also get these constructed. Now, if I'm not too careful, we could get some stuck beavers, so I think this may need some slight babysitting. So hopefully no one gets stuck or trapped or do anything stupid. And we'll just tuck it in, and then we should get benefits from this extra power coming through here. And we can get rid of these paths. And get these chucked in here. And that should all be constructible without any problems. So we've got 900 here and 800 there. So we are going to be well sorted for power. Ah, good. So we have 28 on there. So let's just wheat flour. tail flowers. Again, no beavers, but it's fine for now. We could do with sorting out the raw materials for the time being. So it's a bit of a shame that they're like this, but are we going to miss any of these in the short term? I think the answer is no. Let's just get rid of what we need to get rid of. We could probably do with figuring out a better place for the little hospital wing that we have here. Especially also the tooth grindstoners. We've now moved all of that headache over here, so they end up with broken teeth at some point, but that's not a now problem. So, what have we got? We've got potatoes. Let's see, so the raw ingredients. We're going to need pretty much all of these, so we're going to need 8. And I'm hoping it's drought approaching, which is fine. I think what's going to be the best for us to do is just to shift this out of the way. I don't think it will let us put one in just yet, but I just put that there for now and delete this. Devastate everything. And just rename that. And everyone should be happy as they sort themselves out. Good. Right. So with this extra space, let's just start tidying up. That path's going to need to be... may need to rejig those actually, but we will see when we get to them. Let's get this demolished. Yes. And we're going to cut stuff, which I think will be okay. It'll complain, but it's fine. So, let's see. Do we need to have anything in an underground pile from the raw point of view? I don't think so. No. Well-being of 29, this is good. Hopefully they're getting more of the additional benefits, like carrying longevity and whatnot, so we don't end up decimating the population, although with 23 babies coming in, we could also be in for a bit of a tough time. Anyway, let's just get these in. So, 1, 2, 3. Yep, he's gonna have to go. Let's just commit to the bit. Get rid. What was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Perfect. This is going to chew through a lot of our stuff, but I think it's going to be better for us. So let's get flour, the roots, the chestnuts. Actually, we don't have any dandelions, actually. Maybe we don't need that many. Potatoes, spider duck, wheat flour, and wheat. I think we'll just get rid of this one. And I'll redo all of that just again, because why not? The most riveting viewing, I'm almost certain of it. Don't want dandelions, potatoes. And wheat flour. So that should give them everything they're going to need to store, for the most part. And we just need to now figure out where the best place to put all this industry is going to be to make this. So we moved the grills down here last time. They were dotted all over the show originally. Which is the wheat one. So good. They're working on that one next anyway. We should have just enough planks for that. And I in a year. I think we just have to live with the fact that they're going to be a problem for us for a while. But let's just get rid of these to tidy up. Right, so we have our storage area, and this should be ideal for pretty much anything. We should be able to have plenty of water storage. There is enough here for pretty much the next 6 days easily. So this was what we built last time, just to ensure that this area stays at as full as it can be. So that's kind of fixed for us. So what will be good is looking at I think this area is going to have to go away, and so let's just get the devastation bush in and get rid of all of this. Clear that out. Leave those in because we need that for the path. Not that there's anything really back here, so we could, in theory, get rid, but we don't need to. So this area, I think, is going to be good to get in place for all of the production. So we're going to need probably to look at something with storage now for power, as right now, and unlike the Iron Teeth, we cannot do anything with these to have power coming through here at all times, which means all of this is useless to us. So we're going to have to rely on gravity batteries, I think, at some point. But we can just run a cable, I think, power line from back here. We might have to do a bit of interesting shenanigans with some steps and some ladders here, but we'll worry about that later. For the time being, though, I'm kind of sort of convinced that we're still going to need to get with the windmills. We could look at sorting out some of the other, certainly for a paper mill, it might be an idea. Again, without the power, it's kind of useless. But in the meantime, let's just see if we can get any of these in. These are a massive waste, to be fair. They just do not make sense. We're gonna need one, and then let's get the food, the grist mill. Let's just get those in there and sort out the path for them. Now we'll fix the paths here to make them less ugly. So they should be able to build all that. There's a gap in there for getting through to build all the windmills. That should give us more than ample power for what we need for these, but if we want to add any more, at least we can do. And if we wanted to look at the paper mill, it's probably an idea to think about getting these built sooner rather than later. So I guess maybe we could just spend the science, because we can upgrade these. I'm unsure if this gets more wind than the smaller ones. Be nice if it did, but I don't think that's how it works. I'll have to see if that's a thing for us. However, in 3 days, we're going to get the bad water flowing through here again, so all this should be fairly redundant. What we could look to do also is to do a bit of magic for getting the power down into here, so that we're not reliant on these old times, which I think is very much worthy of our time. So, how do these work? Do we need this one? Yes. So we get these in, and get that in, we should pretty much be able to guarantee at least once one of these is built, and we're out of planks. Yes, okay, so kind of stuck, and we've been sinking the planks into these. Which is fine. It's going to need to happen at some point anyway. What I will do is... I'm going to wait for the spadadock. I'm going to leave those as normal priority. These can be pretty much lowered, I think. As long as these two get done, as main food stuff is going to be for these. So let's get that in, and then we can worry about this. But we're kind of stuck from the beaver front until such time as that is done. So, with that done, should we now turn to the... Yeah, let's start a bit of extra stuff for the beavers to do. We could look at carousels, but there's no power over here. There is here, but again, it's not super reliable. But I think the mud pit, which doesn't look to take any power, although we will need dirt for this, so we are probably in that list of things that we need to get sorted here. Now, it might be an idea just to use this area up here to channel all of our wherever it is it in here somewhere? With a dirt excavator, does it exist? Is it a thing? Somewhere in here, I hope. That's bots. We're not looking at bots. Is it in here? Yes, it is. Okay. So let's just spend the cash on this, and we may as well unlock the locks. What we can do is get this built. Again, we'd need to worry about the power. Yes, because the path's there. But if we get this built here, then we can at least dig a hole in all of this, and then we can put the gravity batteries, put some up here, or if this hill isn't good enough, we could always start putting it up here. And actually, thinking about it, that may be a better idea. Because we can just run the power straight into them as well. So that power's now coming in. How did you manage to get stuck? You idiot. Please leave. Please leave now. Thank you. If we can... Of course it does. If we can put that back in without getting stuck, congratulations. Every time. So, where were we? Dirt excavators. Yes, so they should. For lack of anywhere better to put them, I think if we just dig a giant pit here, don't know where the actual bottom of the map is, so should really get it as high as possible. So I think we're gonna have to send the beavers on a nice little journey up this big hill, and it's gonna have to go on here. So let's see. Let's get you sat just there. And the best way to get the beavers up here is, I think, round here. because we could also build a lot of the power lines at the same time. So to do that, I think we should get them to just go above. If we get that placed in there. So that should cover that. And if we start looking at the power to get them up. This is going to be quite an expensive build, I think. But definitely going to be worth it. Now we could also put some water wheels in up here, I suppose, add an extra bit for what we need with there. So let's just join that to there, to there, that to there. Oh, it doesn't want to be that, does it? It needs to be another one of those. And then if we just get that there. And now to worry about getting the beavers actually up this monstrosity of a mountain, which I've just created. So we're going to need to get that. These should hopefully be. This is probably going to be 1,000,000 planks, but I think in the end it's going to be worth it. We're going to need to go up. Missing some power here. Let's fix that problem. That goes all the way down, and we just need that on top. Wait. Ladders. Let's get them in there. There. Let's get that in. Run that across to there. Hopefully I've not. I have wildly messed that up. This one's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah, alright, let's do this backwards because it's going to hurt my brain otherwise. There we go. Don't know what the hell I was trying to build before, but never mind. So, with that said, we can just quickly put that there. And we'll get them to worry about dealing with the trees up here. Get them cut down. Probably just going to need to destroy these. I don't think we need the woods. We're still pretty good. Beavers should be working on that. Good, so those are done. The actual raw food stuff's going in, so that's excellent. Why are these not being built? Okay, the planks are a problem. Let's... Nah, we'll just leave them to it. It's going to be a problem for a while. And what we can do, though, is get these prioritized by haulers. This should speed up some of the planks coming in. We should still have plenty of haulers, which we do. That should keep them well topped up for that. So, let's see. We'll worry about that later. That's obviously going to come at some point. We have all of the goods for that, which is fine. Gears, even the gears, that's fine. We're just going to need to run the power across here, I think, and then we could do something fancy with it, but I just don't think we need to bother. It's just getting them down here. Let's just get rid of all of these. Once they get up here, they can work on that on their own accord. Now, let's just add the paths. And then with that, they will be able to get all the way up here and build it all, which is exactly what we want them to do. And so, let's put those on. They're out of power, so they need those. So, I think... prioritize these, please, over everything else. As we need to connect them into this. So, we are creating more than enough power for what we need. As soon as we get this on, maybe a bit of a problem, but we can worry about that later. So is that improving the plank situation? Not really. Could be that we need to get some more planks on the go. But yeah, kind of stuck behind those. So with that built, these now have all of the power they're going to need. I think we'll just pause that for the time being. We'll try not to hit all the planks. I mean, this is a lot of construction for them. What I'll do is I'll pause that and let the planks recover a bit, I think. Could do with that extra stock. Now, so yeah, kind of stuck behind those, aren't we? I wonder if it's going to be a better idea for us to just get rid of this and put in another lumber mill. Which, yeah, I think it is. So we've got 4 of those. That should. We can get rid of this now, can't we? If we get rid of that, we should be able to get those resources back and get them used elsewhere. Are they throwing them into this? Yes, they are. Well, we need the raw goods, so it's gonna have to be all we can do, really. Let's just get rid of that. Beaver is injured, eh? Now we're out of trees, so we do not need you anymore. Let's get that job back. We've got more builders. We could look at haulers if we need any more, which might be an idea. It's got quite a few spare. We're full on extract, which is good. That's okay. So yeah, these are going to be a problem for the time being, but it's fine. We'll just have to live with it. So what else can we get them doing? These are berries, chestnuts, cattails. Let's just empty these. Might move the berries over here, in all honesty. But do we need more? Why not? Let's just leave it alone. We'll look to rip all of these, not out, but we'll get them harvested properly. We've got a little path up here to get those, so that's okay. We'll worry about that one later. So, with that said, we are kind of now stuck, construction-wise anyway, until we get the plank situation sorted. In an effort to get the beavers moving around a bit more efficiently, we added a zip line in last time, which has taken them all the way up to here, which is just going to be for the lumberjacks here, because there's some nice dead oaks we can use and utilize. What we can look to get them on with here is get some of these scrappers in and start tearing down this. Now they've got the range for all of that, so we knock that out and they should be get staffed with those, which is good. Now we can use those extra beavers for a bit of extra building purposes, but again we're still stuck behind the planks. How are we doing with everything else? So nowhere near full. Pine resin we're full, which is okay. So there's enough to keep this going, other than the planks, which is the problem. I think what would be quite nice eventually is to drop some water in down here, which I might actually do now. So where is the dynamite? And I think if we just blast this out for the time being, get that placed, and we will just pause these for the time being. Just so we don't have any idiot beavers that want to walk over this until we put this path back in. In fact, this is going to be a very, very bad idea. I do not want to do this just yet, so let's just put a sneaky little path that way. Let's kaboom that, and yet more of our favourites. And I would like this doing first. And we're going to need to get fluid dump and just put that in there. Now this probably isn't going to give much benefit out here, but it should give them a bit more area to plant the potatoes. And we do need to fix a lot of the problems we've got with the contamination here. Now I think the best way to get rid of these would be to just get probably a couple on here and see if that clears the area. So yeah, gonna spend the money on this. And if we get those put in and see if that fixes the problem down here, so that we've got a bit more area. Good, they're done. Let's just put that sneaky shortcut back in, make pathing a bit more easy for the beavers. But with this, we've obviously greened it all. We just need to uncontaminate it, which is the next thing we can do. So I think let's look to move some of this business out of the way as well. So we did add some more Lidos over here, so we can probably look to get rid of these. We don't really need them, but we'll leave them on the river. Why not? It's a nice area for them, I guess. But what we can look to do is, will these fit in here? They will. Let's just move the showers closer to where the beavers are living. Again, that's going to suck some planks, but it's going to be okay. We just need one more plank in there, so let's just set that back to normal. And then that should stop the plank sink, that's at least until I unpause this and all of this up here. What we do also need to get them to do is make sure that the bad side over here is working as it should. Yep. Good. So we have 5 days on that. That's not going to take too much of our water again. Obviously, we get the benefits of the power running through this point, so that's good. They're waiting for planks as usual. That's okay. So let's just get rid of these. I am going to take these out, actually. I was going to leave them, but I'm not going to. So, is that everything we need down here? Roots. Wheat flour. Yep. So, awesome. Now, I will leave the planks to go up a bit, which they are. That's good. I think the time is probably going to be to get this sorted. With any luck, they should be able to get that. Let's get the holders in for that. We do have quite a few. That's not uncontaminated as much as I would have hoped. Can we do anything about that? I wonder. Probably not. We really need a continuous path across there, don't we? So it's going to be a case of putting in a bridge, I think, and getting them up and over. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be another way to do that. And with all this set here, we're kind of stuck also with everything across here, which, again, it's not ideal. I mean, we can plant some more potatoes. We've got a little bit of extra, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. Let's just get it in where we can, I guess. Get them replanted. Why not? That's all okay. We could probably look to get rid of all of this at this point, I think. So let's just get rid of that. And I think let's just do we need to worry about the paths? Probably not. Let's just get rid of these. We'll leave the stairs in. They're always handy. Let's just tidy up the path. Bit of a roundabout way to get down, but you never know. It's going to be fine. With that, we can look to get some more sunflowers in. So let's just get that in. They should have the reach on that, which they do. Carrots, I think we're okay on, to be fair. Let's have a look. So we are pretty much full on carrot storage, which is fine. So let's just sunflower this up, I think. And while we're here, let's just spatter duck those. Right, so that should at least give us some better storage. Planks are coping now, which is a deal. Storage, let's just get this in, and let's look for the berries. And then we can just empty this for this one. And then we can rip these out too. In fact, let's just get rid of them now. They can pick them off the floor later. But we will get some of the... Let's just get the range on all of this. Yep, let's just get those in. And then up here we could probably do the similar sort of setup. And then just get these gathered too. And with that, we should have enough berries to keep us as an emergency fund. If all else fails, we should be fine. We've not needed the berries for a very, very long time at this point, so not too concerned with that. Are there any more crops we can plant? Probably. See, wheat's looking okay. We are quite low on the flour, so I think we should look at the bakeries at this point. So, food. Bakery. Can we squeeze this in anywhere near here? Probably. Let's just put that in there for now, and then let's just flip it. So there's a little bit of a walk there to get some of the raw stuff, but I think it's not too much for them. Maple pastries. We need to work on those. So we will need 3 of these, I think. But let's go with the bread. And the crackers. And stick that there. And the maple pastries. So, do we have anywhere for the maple pastries? I do not think we do. Don't worry about the flooding. There is no flooding. You can't see any flooding. So, where are the maple pastries? Yeah, so we just need to add a couple more, so... Don't worry about the flooding. Don't worry about the flooding. It'll all go away. There we go. How have we managed to do this? You absolute tools. Please leave. Thank you. Every time. But they are getting to this pretty quick, which is nice. So where were we? Ah yes, we need to sort these out. So we are in fact missing some storage for sunflower seeds and maple pastries, but I do believe we've got loads everywhere else, which is ideal. So let's just delete these paths. You can probably sneak another one in around the side anyway, so that's not going to be too much of a problem. Maybe not. We can force it if we need to, I guess. So let's just get the maple pastries and get the sunflower seeds in. I highly doubt we'll ever touch the sides of the sunflower seed ones, but I don't think we're growing enough for that to be too much of a problem. So they've started harvesting these berries, which is good. Do these reach? Yes, did check that. What might be an idea is to look to greenify this area, I think. I'd like to clear this out and get some more space for sunflower seeds. They should be able to grow here, so let's just chuck in some more at the top here. They should all grow. Is there any range anyway. We've got some space down here as well if we wanted to. Oh, 30. Happy days. How? What? How? Please leave. In fact, finish building and then assuming there's no more idiots, build this, please. I'd like this paused so that they do not build it. I fear there is going to be much more of an issue going forward with these. While we're here, let's need to work on getting the electricity run through here. So I do believe they should be able to build those from above through the stairs, I think. But as soon as they do those, if these all spin, it means it's all built properly, which I'm hoping it is, as our industry up here kind of hinges on it. So we are seeing quite a bit of a dip in the wood. So there is an absolute ton up over here. Have I? Yes, I have not marked any of this for cutting. Let's just quickly put those in. And let's get these marked for cutting, as it's kind of useless if we're not cutting them. So there should be enough wood here to keep us going, so let's just... There may be a problem with the number of lumberjacks here to cope with all of this cutting. But we are churning through the wood quite quickly. Oh yes, while I'm here, I would like none of this. In fact, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. I would like all of this to start spreading on its own. But I'll leave these planted because I'd like to keep them as they are. Anyway, so we need, looking at this, need to look at the hospital wing. That seems to be a problem. For that, I'm wondering the best place to be would to put them. Somewhere nice and scenic for them, I think, would be good. But there's no real decent place to put that. How about we just... How about we just stick them on the back here? So, where are we? Wellbeing, hospital, medical bed. These can't fit underneath. Okay. No, they can't. Never mind. It'd be nice. Maybe put just here. Yeah, why not? We'll get 3 in there. With that, they can. Those 3 that are injured can get themselves sorted out. If we need to build some more, we will do. But hopefully it won't take them too long to get healed up in there. Tooth grindstone is probably also a problem as well. Because I've ripped those out, so probably put one over there and one here. Is that the same level? It is not. But let's be a little bit sneaky with this one. Let's just pop that in there. And then if we have any problems with teeth, they can get sorted pretty much close to here. I'm pretty sure that we're going to need to make space for a few more. So what I will do is unplant a few things around here, I think. So with those clear, we've got extra space for putting those in, which we can't do yet, but we will. We can get one in here, I think. Yes. So that should give those two spare beavers we have here, well, now 3, plenty of more opportunity to get the trees down for the colony, and I'll just plant these at some point in the future, if I remember. Right, let's make their lives easier, which we've been trying to do for an episode or 2 now, is getting the zip lines across here. I think this is going to be very much in the way. But I think the best thing for us to do here, wherever it is, is that going to be... Yeah, I don't think that's going to reach there, is it? So what can we do with this forester to get him out of the way? Because it would have been nice just to run a straight path through here. So let's... I don't know what the distance will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So somewhere around there, I think. And this guy is going to have to move. If we were to move that to here. And then this guy should have range. I think there's going to be a bit of a dead area here. Yeah, there is. We'll worry about that another time. Probably just as easy to shift this guy further up. He should get the coverage. If we end up with a bit of a space, we've got a bit of a space, I guess. Doesn't matter too much. Anyway, let's worry about getting this in, which should now reach, which it can. And we just need to place to deposit the beavers. And I think if we get them to come in here, they're not going to be able to get up there to build anything, but we can worry about that later. Straight path would be there, I think. So, is that too far? No, it was just because they can't build it. We could be a bit sneaky with this as well. In fact, I have a better idea. Let's take this guy out. I have a better idea. Let us be a bit sneaky with this as well. If we use the right ones, not these. If we do this, and if we just do that, say for the time being, and if we do that, this should allow us to get to here. So if we drop this guy, is he in range still? No. That is a shame. That is a big shame. I'm going to put this guy here anyway, and I will put in just a little interim tower here. Because up here, which they can't get to yet, but they will. In fact, they will be able to build that. But up here, we are going to give them just a little bit of extra stuff up here, which we are missing from pretty much everywhere, since I've just ripped them out. So these here should very nicely fit in here. So did the herbalist. And with the proximity to power, we could look to get a carousel up here, actually. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So, let us get let's just cover this. It's not exactly the fun zone over here, which is unfortunate. However, they can quickly jump across the zip line and get themselves up here. That can be built. That is being built. And then we can worry about the construction of that in a minute. So they should be able to get up here and get everything built once this is sorted, which should be next on their list of things to do, I hope. But with this, then they can at least come up here. Now we have only got this one campfire, so the campfires, I think, would be actually fairly nice to maybe put in here. Although it is quite a big beast. Let's put that there. I think that'll be okay. Let's just quickly get a path in before we run out of abilities to make them. Make sure this is working. Paranoid as anything, but yeah, it's working. Good. I really need to stop worrying about that, but never mind. Won't be a problem forever. I'll eventually forget to look at it, and that's the day it'll fail. So we'll get these in down here. They can a bit of extra excitement with these campfires. We just need to get that tree removed, which I will just get them to do now. Rip that out. Bit of a distance for them to come, but hopefully they'll get that sorted out now. And yes, there they are. Let's get that in. So those should be ideal for them to get extra bonus. We've removed all the wood up here, so we can say goodbye to these. And we can just have them dismantle all this scrap. Now we can look at worrying about the mine next time. Good. So we have that sorted. Let's get that in for now. What we can do is add a bit of extra well-being and decorations up here. Maybe a lantern would be quite nice. That'll give them some extra benefit of that. And then we've got space up here for the carousel, which is fairly big, but it will fit up here. But it is higher up. But that's okay. We will just build a ramp up for them, I think. Yeah, well, shall we put this in? This is the question. Yeah, why not? Why not? It's not exactly what I had. Why can't you go there? Oh, you're too close. Aha. Which would make sense. It's going to be pretty bit danger time if you didn't. But you could just stagger these, I suppose. If we just do that. Power. With any luck, we can just do that. And then we can just run that. So if we just pause this for the time being, get them to build that. And they should be able to build all of that without too much drama. And then we'll just need to run this way. It's a bit dirty, but it'll do. We don't need this back here, so let's just do that. So that'll do for there. So let's just unpause these so we can get those being built. And that should give us the opportunity to just get this bit sorted. And then if we just leave that like that for the time being, we should be a-okay to get the beavers up here to do that. And then we can put more shenanigans down. Kind of written off these areas, I will grant you. Not so much this, but up here, I think we're going to be okay. Right, so... what would probably be helpful is if this wasn't paused still. Please rush job this. And I think with this done, we are in a really good position up here to start looking at this. Let's just figure this out. Let's just do this. And then if we run the power this way, so we're going to need this in anyway. and I hope and pray that this doesn't need massive amounts of babysitting, but I bet it does. Let's just bring these out here. Yeah, we could go down and up, couldn't we, really? But for the sake of what this is going to cost us, let's just do that. And then run that across there. And then we're kind of stuck until all these trees have been cleared. Now, I'm hoping that won't take them too long. And then we can start on this. If we felt so inclined, we could also come around here and get some more metal taken out of here. But I think we can just ignore this. And just concentrate on sorting out a mine. Now, the mine is probably going to injure a lot of beavers. So it's probably going to be a case that we need to start looking at bots before this comes in. But I think from a scrap point of view, we're going to be okay with this. Eventually, once the storage is full, we can sort of leave this as is. So let's just get them sorting this out first, because I want to get all this built. I'm going to pause that before that becomes a problem, although they shouldn't get stuck. In fact, no, they can't get through, can they? That's fine. We'll pause that one, get all that prioritized, then we can unpause these. We have had several die, so yeah, so we have lost quite a few beavers just off suddenly there, which not ideal. That doesn't have range. That does have range. It doesn't. No, we can't really plant a tree in here, can we? Never mind. But that'll be okay. So, leave them on that. Thanks. Still a problem. Managed not to get any more beavers stuck up here, which is a miracle in its own regard. But these are all turning, so I've obviously fixed that right, and they can build these down here, which is good. And then we'll just join power into here. Where is it? Sorry for anyone who just got seasick with that. So just hook the power straight into here, and then we'll just run them at the same level down these steps. And then with that, we have plenty of pretty much everything to do those. So we're in a good situation. We aren't using much of that, so let's just pause that for the time being. Explosives, they are also full, so since we're not doing anything with those, we can get rid. What probably wasn't my smartest move is blocking off the ability for any of this up here to do anything, but we could just use some stairs up here, to be fair. Yeah, we didn't really need to build those extras, but it's nice enough. So if we get this in. So we now have this area up here. What will be a bit of an advantage is potentially moving these out of the way and sticking them up here. Maybe come up, flatten some of this down, but perhaps just being mindful of this waterfall here. but then hook into this and maybe turn this into a bit of a laid out major industrial area here. So although we've got the power and these, I think it's going to be better for us to contamination barrier across these. Again, I don't think it's too much of a problem, but it doesn't look nice on the green grass, so needs sorting. So let's just get that done. That can now be unpaused. That doesn't have any power, but it will shortly once this is finished. Still okay for gears. Planks, yeah, that should be able to get built in pretty short order. Let's just tidy up. And I think for now we can let them deal with that at their own time. And I think we've pretty much achieved everything we was going to do today. So we have got flour and whatnot. We have all the ingredients coming in. A little short on flour. So we may need some more production of those, and we still need to get the numbers up on those, and that's going to impact how many cocktail crackers and bread we can do. But it's going up slowly, so we may need to look at something with better storage. Or we have quite a lot of sunflower seeds now, actually. That's quite good. Yeah, I think we're okay. It's going to be... The flour is going to be a problem, so I think it's just that we need more capacity, which we could work on for that. We need to find somewhere to stick this paper, as it is pretty much full. So we'll sort that out next time. So to that, I think it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching this episode. If you have any comments or would like to shout at me for doing anything wrong, please let down and let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.